For over 40 years, Vietnam vet Fred Yoder never received his medals that he deserved from the war on Vietnam, or even the ones which he had earned. But that all changed when his nephew, Dalton, gave him the surprise of his life when he presented Fred with his combat honors. So how was he able to track him down? Join us right now from Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, our Eagle Scout Dalton Yoder, right there in the middle of the screen, his great uncle and Vietnam vet Fred Yoder, and Pennsylvania Senator Pat Toomey. Good morning to all of you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, so Fred, when you came back from Vietnam, you didn't wind up with the medals you were entitled to. How come?
Well, I was 2 days short from being discharged from the military, having my 2 years service. And so when I got back to Seattle, Washington, they gave me, I mustered out of the military, and they just said, here you go.
Sure.
And I left. And also because it was unpopular, I didn't want to do anything about it, so we just left.
And you left it like that, and you never received the medals you were entitled to. But Dalton, you know, Fred's part of your family, and tell us about the stories you heard him tell.
I don't know. I mean, they were just so inspiring stories. Fred's a great person, and I mean, with those stories, I don't know. He inspires me, so it's just great.
It is great. And so he inspired you, and you felt bad that he never got the medals that he was entitled to. So what did you do?
I went to some government officials, and they hooked me up.
Are you talking about perhaps the government official who is sitting to your immediate right, Senator Pat of Pennsylvania? You called his office. And Senator Toomey, how were you able to help?
Well, actually, it came through a state rep, Fred Keller, who approached my office knowing that we handle this sort of thing. And it does happen that men serve their country, men and women serve their country, and never get the recognition they deserve. So there's an office within the Department of Defense that handles this, National Personnel Records Center, and so we contacted them. Dalton had the information that we needed, and we were able to make sure that you know, the Army came through and recognized Fred for his service many years ago. It was a great opportunity.
That's fantastic. I think a lot of people don't realize that there is an office especially for that, and so maybe you've just helped a number of other people. So Dalton, you wound up with the information, and you had possession of the medals. How did you decide to present them to Fred?
I did it through my Eagle Scout ceremony, which was this past November, and I awarded Fred the mentor pin, but in addition to that, I also awarded him the medals.
Oh, that's fantastic. So Fred, you came up during his Eagle Scout ceremony, and right there on the table were your medals. When you saw them, what did you think?
Well, I didn't even know they were mine. He had me come up to do the mentor pin, and as he did that, he said, stay here for a minute, and so I stayed there for a minute. He said, now go sit down, and an Army representative came in, and he had the medals, and then he came up and he said, would you please come up here again? So I went up front, and they awarded me my medals, and I'm like numb. I had no idea this was happening, and above all, my wife kept it quiet for a whole year. So that was a mystery in itself.
Absolutely. So you finally wound up, and we should point out, these are not medals that everybody gets. Not that everybody gets them, but these are not run-of-the-mill medals. How good does that make you feel, Fred?
It's very fine. It's undescribable because it gave me a little bit of closure.
Sure.
The first closure came when I met my friend from Vietnam, Leonard Nagurski.
Yeah.
He was my best buddy. And I met him a year and a half ago, finally, and that brought a lot of tears and closure.
Absolutely.
And this just brought closure to
a long saga. Senator Toomey, congratulations. Thank you very much for doing what you could to make sure that Dalton was able to bring Fred his medals.
Oh, mine was just a small role. I just have a lot of admiration for an enterprising young man who, out of love and respect for his great uncle, really did something terrific for his uncle.
Absolutely. All right. Eagle Scout Dalton Yoder, Vietnam vet Fred Yoder and U.S. Senator Pat Toomey. Guys, thank you very much for joining us from Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, 1 week before Christmas. Thank you all.
Thanks, Steve.
Thank you, Steve.
Thanks.
You bet.